Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network for Entrepreneurs. I'm Dennae Handford, and my wife, Dennae, and I interview successful people sharing stories behind tough decisions that they've had to make along their journey as an entrepreneur.
On the show with us today is Andrey Sokurec. Andrey, thank you for being with us. We're looking forward to talking with you. Want you to get us started and tell our audience a little bit about your background and your journey as an entrepreneur, and also where your focus is right now.
All right. Well, thanks, Dennae. It's my pleasure to be on the show. I'm super excited. And what I'm doing right now is I own a small company called Homestead Road. We're a small company, about 30 people here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And what we do is we buy houses from people who want to sell houses as is, easy, stress-free. We restore them to original glory and then sell to another family. And I made so many tough decisions. I make them every day. But I believe that my biggest tough decision that I made that had a really great impact on my life and my family is to have about 150 days completely off work. And I learned this concept from strategic coach Dan Sullivan, and I'm really grateful that he introduced that concept to me. And what it is basically you have to start planning your vacation like 1 year before. And during those days, you're not allowed to talk about business. You're not allowed to think about business. And that was really scary at the beginning, to have vacations, because as an entrepreneur, we're working 24/7, and have it be away from the business and don't take any calls, don't check emails. That was really eye-opening, and it's only possible if you can build a self-managed business. So I believe that that's what I currently have, because this is how I planned my day. I went to Mexico this year, the beginning of the year. Then I went to Italy for 3 weeks with my family. Then went to Ecuador, where I lived in a tribe and had zero internet connection, zero phone connection at all. And my business was still fine.
So you've really set up then the people and the processes and systems to allow you to do this. So can you tell us, what were some of the steps that you had to take exactly before you could say, okay, I'm going to step away from my business for 150 days?
Well, everything boils down to processes and systems. And what we've done is we hired a consultant and we implemented Traction EOS. I know that a lot of small businesses, they're using Traction. And that Traction helped us to build proper accountability charts, proper operational procedures, and also do the meetings the most effective way. So we basically eliminated all the meetings, but we have only 2 meetings. We have it's called L10 meetings, and they have specific way how you have to host the meeting. And also we heavily invest into training into our team. So that's really, really helped. When you have a trained team, everybody has their own outcomes, expectations, and KPIs. Then we don't really much manage the people because we have a self-managed team. So I can basically step away anytime I want, but I'm focusing on growing the company and building bigger and better company, because I don't consider that it's work.
I know that Dan and I, we kid sometimes about the vacations that we take, because as entrepreneurs who are, so involved in your business, it's really hard to step away. And it's not so hard to go on a trip, but it's hard to completely remove yourself from the business. So did you find that was difficult for you, or, was it pretty simple to cut yourself off from the day-to-day activities? And how did you do that?
That's a great question. It was not hard for me at all, because we already have processes and systems established. And if I didn't have any process and systems, then it would be really, really hard. Mm-hmm. But to do that is, everybody, we have, you listening to this podcast and never read the book Traction, that will be a good start to read. Also, early in my career, I read the book The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I interviewed him on my TV show. And I learned a lot that like the only way to succeed is to build a business, and what business is when you work on your business, not working in the business.
Well, and I think to really be sustainable, you have to get to that point where you can remove yourself, because you never know what life is going to throw at you. And if you have to constantly be in the business, then when you're not there, it obviously is not going to work. So let's shift gears just a little bit, because we always like to talk about a decision that had a really positive outcome, but we also like to sort of visit those decisions that had, a not so good outcome and talk about the lessons that we learned from those. So do you have, Andrey, a decision that you've made that maybe didn't turn out as well as you wanted or planned, and what lessons did you learn from that?
Well, Dennae, I've made a lot of bad decisions, but because sometimes we just don't have the whole information, and we need to basically make a decision based on assumptions. And I believe that my worst decision was hiring wrong people, because of jumping too fast to accept a person early in when we started the business with my partner Alex. I basically hired everybody and I like people a lot. Mm-hmm. And instead of now we have completely different process. Now we want to make sure that the person has, number one, cultural fit, number two, technical fit, and we have rounds of interview, and we do a lot of assessments, and we hire really, really slow. So my worst decision was to jump on people basically and accept them as employee for the company. And some people were really, really bad. And that took a lot of efforts to get those people removed from the team. And we have really good culture in our company. And if you bring one rotten apple on the team, it completely affects all the people on the team. Mm-hmm. So the lesson learned is even if you like someone, is do your homework, do a lot of tests. We're using Colby test. We have actually industry psychologists who test people and interview them, and also have right expectations with them, and don't hire them fast. It's it should be a really slow process.
Sure. And I think having a set process like you discussed setting up is really important, because that way, everyone, what you're expecting of everyone to go through before they can be hired. And it doesn't then become just I like this person, so I'm going to hire them. They have to go through the process. And if they don't make it through the process, then, they can't be part of the team. That helps to protect the culture.
Yeah, that's exactly, because a lot of entrepreneurs, if I'm a quick start, based on Colby test. So, and I like people a lot. So I don't make decisions really fast now. Right. Even if I like them, it still should be follow the process.
So talk a little bit about some of the specific strategies that you use when you are facing a difficult decision.
I don't make fast decisions anymore. But I believe that we have a really high kind of vision. We want to become a household name for people who want to sell houses. So right now sometimes it's scary, we spend a lot of money on marketing. We have TV ads, billboards, radio, we have every marketing channel possible. But sometimes it's scary to spend so much money. But what I do is I use kind of 3-step process. It starts with the commitment, because if you have commitment, then you have a courage. And if you have courage, you're going to start taking actions and you're going to get results. So because not everything is going to work out, but however, if you have a high commitment, if you don't just want to try it out and see how it goes, you have to be really committed. And if I have a tough decision to make, I look back into my personal core values and company mission. Our mission is to serve people better than anyone else. And it really helps, because it doesn't really matter what happens to me. What matters is how I'm going to process that information. And we're all going to make mistakes, but if you make a mistake, it's just a feedback. You can, if you have a really big commitment and you have courage to make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, because if you're not going to make any mistakes, you're not going to make any progress.
That is so true. You can't be afraid to make a mistake, especially in this life as an entrepreneur. But I was wondering if you could restate that sequence there, because I really liked that. You said you have to have commitment, to have courage, and then what was the last one?
And if you have a courage, then you're going to have results.
Courage to make the tough decision when the time comes for it.
Yeah, but like courage will be easy because if you're fully committed, you have to be committed 100%. Like what Tony Robbins said, you have to take massive action, but massive action only possible if you have courage, and courage possible if you have commitment.
All right, we're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our show sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk to Andrey about some of his favorites as it relates to his life as an entrepreneur.
Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD Capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit HanfordCapital.com.
And we are back with Andrey Sokurec, and we are talking to him about some of the tough decisions that he's had as an entrepreneur. And Andrey, we like to call this section the trifecta, and I'm just going to run through a series of questions that we just want you to answer kind of quickly, kind of get some ideas for our audience on some of the things that you use on a regular basis. So what is a favorite technology that you use in business every day that makes your life easier?
I delegate a lot. I hire other people. The only word that you need to remember is this is what Harvey Mackay, Swim with the Shark author and my personal coach, that he said, if you want to grow business, you have to remember that you have to hire, because it's impossible to do it yourself.
What is a favorite quote that you've heard that's helped you as an entrepreneur?
I like Zig Ziglar quote, if you want to have everything in your life, you just need to help people to get what they want.
And what's a favorite book that you've read that's helped you make better decisions as an entrepreneur?
Well, it changes. I have so many, I read probably maybe 2 or 3 books a week, but the recent book that I read by Peter Diamandis, Abundance, and I give this book to my friends and people who work for me to make sure that they have a positive outcome for life. And it really helps because with all the negativity, let's say you open Wall Street Journal or any newspaper or CNN, there is constant negative news. And if people don't feed that negative information and feed positive, because as a humanity, we're making so much progress. Look, you can be in China, you can be in India, and you can have access to internet, and you can sign up for Harvard Business School course, living in the jungle. So we need to know about that the life is getting easier and the life is getting better every day.
And what is the next thing for you right now on your vision board?
Well, we dominated Minneapolis market, Minneapolis, Twin Cities. And next decision will be we want to open a new location, and it's going to be a new set of challenges because it's always much harder and takes more time than you anticipate. And that excites me.
How can the listeners reach out to you if they want to follow you or find out more about what you do?
I stopped using social media. However, I still have a website. It's AndreySokurec.com. And if you want to check my real estate company, it's HomesteadRoad.com.
All right. And we'll also put a link to your website in the show notes. So if anyone's listening and you're not at this place where you can write that down, check out the show notes at toughdecisions.net, and we'll put a link to the website there. Andrey, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate your energy and your investment and talking with us today. And we look forward to following you as you continue to grow.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to gain access to show notes for this episode and to join our free weekly entrepreneur email where we will send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest books for entrepreneurs. That's toughdecisions.net.